Hi guys. I just wanted to give you guys another quick overview before you go in to take your exam on Module 3. Again, I just kind of wanted to give you some information in regards to things to look out for, some information for the test, things like that. Make sure 3.1 starts off with your basically the actual logistics of your digestive tract system. Make sure that you understand the general process of how we digest food. You knowing how it goes from chewing all the way through the process, making sure you know the different parts of the intestines, making sure you know some of those little bit different terms like your chyme and your bolus and some of the terms that you guys might not be completely familiar with. I will tell you this test is going to be vocab heavy because you have a lot of vocab words, whereas like the last exam was a lot more, give me 4 of these recommendations, give me 4 of these recommendations, tell me about my plate. This is going to be a lot more vocab. You're going to have, quite a few fill-in vocab in the beginning, and then you're going to have some of your true or false. And again, a lot of times those are going to deal with some of your vocab. So this would be another test that it would be good if you can have your vocab pulled up in some way, shape, or form, or write those vocab definitions down. Just have easy access to them when you take the test. It's going to help you out a lot. So when you get through the actual system, okay, then you're going to get into, when you get into 3.2, it starts talking about, let me get there, the different types, how we digest the different types of things that we are ingesting. So 3.2 starts with proteins. So another big part of your test towards the end on your essay questions, you're basically going to have to give an overview of each of those things. So proteins, your lipids, fiber, carbohydrates, okay, things like that. And so make sure that you've read through. Good places to look when you're actually doing the test would be in some of your summary sections to kind of refresh your memory. But you're going to want to put as much detail as you can without using all your time. Obviously, you still have your 2 hours, so you don't want to spend, 30 minutes on one summary of one section, but make sure that you're putting in different things like how much protein do we need, how does our body digest it, what do we use it for, all of those different things. And I tried to be pretty specific in the questions and like give you like hint of what to add in there, but just make sure you're giving an overall viewpoint of that one section. I do specify in the essays that you only have to use the book for those. When you're talking about how do we process proteins, how do we process carbohydrates, you can just use your book information. The very last, I think, 2 essay questions, it's 2 or 3, which kind of venture outside of those specific topics. I do say make sure you use outside sources for this. A big part of that is going to be just kind of rehashing our whole discussions on disease and nutrition and knowing what kind of things can cause diseases or maybe speed them up and what type of nutrition might help with certain diseases. So make sure you are ready to do that. You guys have also done a full week of tracking, so make sure you're able to discuss what you found in your tracking. If you didn't pay attention to things like protein and carbohydrates and lipids and that breakdown, you might go back and double check your week of tracking because you're going to have to kind of discuss your own nutrition correlated with what you're learning here and are you getting enough and what could you do differently. Definitely you're all going to have, most of you guys did the calorie part because that's part of the tracking, but you might go in and take a look if you didn't do anything, like I said, with the fats and the proteins and the carbohydrates, do some investigating on that just so you have a better idea of how to answer that question when it asks you that. And then, like I said, really the questions, a lot of vocab. You're not going to have too many of the fill-in listing like we did last time. You are going to have a matching section, which will be a little bit different, but it shouldn't be difficult. It'll pop down. It'll give you what you're looking for, and then you'll have to pull from the pop-down menu. There are extras in there, so just be careful you won't use everything that comes in the pop-down menu. But hopefully that'll save some time too. I did that instead of doing a ton of fill-ins. So you have some fill-ins, and then you have the matching type, and then you go into your true and false. And then, like I said, at the end, you really just have those essays that are, I want to say total you end up having 6 or 7 of those where you're just outlining those. I think overall it's only 29 questions. So plan for your whole 2 hours just because you do have to do those essay questions. And make sure, like I said, when you're hitting those different things, like when you get into carbohydrates, you're going to want to say, what are good carbohydrates versus bad carbohydrates? And how does our body react to those? And how do we digest those? And how much do we need? And what happens if we have too many of those? Or in a lot of the different chapters, you're going to see some of the disorders related to processing those nutrients. So make sure you're aware of that. And really, I think that is it. There wasn't too much I wanted to give you guys, which is why I'm just now posting it. I just kind of wanted to give you some advice. I knew most people will probably start taking their test today or tomorrow, and then obviously Sunday night it's due. So just make sure that you guys are prepared, read through. Like I said, have that vocab in front of you. Know that you're going to have to summarize those sections, and just be prepared on those last few. Like I said, you are going to have to look up a couple of outside resources. But other than that, it shouldn't be too difficult. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.